Welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2004 here in TEW 2020 as the road to WCW Mayhem and of course Starrcade 2004 continues as we're starting out at Nitro in front of 17,000 people at the Bud Walton Arena in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Yeah, we're going to the sort of second tier cities at the moment as we continue the road to Starrcade and Mayhem, including the Mayhem tournament tonight. But we begin the show with basically a pre-tape from earlier today as Helm and Lizzy are about to enter the building when basically Eric Bischoff is there for security, and he says, "Look, you don't think I know what you guys are planning. Yeah, I know you challenged Hardy and Van Dam to a tag match, but I know what your plan is. I would have ran it too, back in the days when I ran with the New World Order. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to take out Hardy or Van Dam, and then you guys would get the win, and then guess what? You don't have to defend the title at me. And look, it's a good plan, except you forgot one thing. I care about making money for this company and drawing buy rates and ratings. So tonight, your guys are not allowed in the building. And you're lucky I'm not suspending you. But for now, since controversy does create cash, the match is still happening tonight, but you gotta find another partner instead of one of your running buddies." Of course, Helms is upset and tries to say nothing as he said, reminds you, "Bischoff, I'm the world champion. I could walk away right now." And Bischoff's like, "Yes, I would sweep you to the bottom of the earth. So just go ahead, get in the ring. I'm sure you can find somebody who doesn't like Hardy and Van Dam and get ready for your main event." So there we go. So we're setting things up that, Helms is the world champion. Bischoff doesn't want him to ruin a chance at a world title shot as we go to the announcers who, put over the big tag match. Helms and a partner, to be named later, I guess, versus Hardy and Van Dam as they go over the tournament brackets, including Eddy Guerrero versus Blitzkreig, Keenan Sharpe versus Tajiri, Toro versus Rey Jr, and AJ Styles versus Mark Jindrak in a whole bunch of matches that, if they were put on a fancy graphics and uploaded to Reddit, if it existed in 2004, would all be called bangers by the commenters. And of course, the big main event, as this little going over the tournament bracket gets a 71. As we move forward to our opening match of the tournament. As yes, it's Eddy Guerrero in his first match of the tournament, taking on Blitzkreig, and honestly, in another world, this would probably be a better, longer match, but it's a tournament, and Eddy's a top guy, and Blitzkreig's kind of just sort of there in the cruiserweight division at the moment. So yeah, this is a just all, Blitzkreig gets his high spots in right in the middle, and it looks like he's going to get the huge upset over Eddy, but eventually Eddy does some sort of cheating. I imagine him shaking the ropes at the last possible moment as Blitzkreig goes up top for some wacky diving, flippy diving thing, or he just literally just takes out Blitz's knees on the outside. Then he takes over and just picks apart Blitzkreig real quick. Quick kicks, a quick Blue Thunder Bomb, the Three Amigos, hits a Brainbuster, goes up top, Frog Splash, as he advances in the tournament. As this goes about 6 minutes, like it says, overall the match gets a 70 because Eddy getting a 91, Blitzkreig getting a 51, and crowd of course is unhappy about this. The answers put over, Eddy is a very, very dangerous competitor in this tournament as he's very focused to win back what he thinks is his world title. And post match, Eddy celebrates like an asshole, just walking over and as Blitzkreig is getting up, just kicking him in the stomach and doing a quick face walk with them as the crowd continues to boo, and we move forward here on Monday Night Raw. Then we go backstage where Jeff Hardy and RVD are basically talking, going over their match, the match, saying it doesn't matter who is, Helm's partners tonight, that they've both faced, some of the best in the world and have been successful, so it doesn't really matter who Helms, decides to get as his partner when Tank Toland comes in. And both Hardy and Van Dam just go from "What are you doing here?" And Tank's like, "Look, I'm the sexiest wrestler in WCW. I just came here to remind you both that you might have to face me in the future. Jeff, you're trying to get yourself a world title shot, but remember, you're part of this tournament, and I, Tank Toland, in just a few days, are going to cause the upset of the tournament when I take you out. And then after that, Van Dam, I got my eyes on you. And hey, maybe I'll be Helm's partner." And Hardy and Van Dam just over it. Toland says, "Look, kid, you've got a bright future. But honestly, Jeff's a madman, so he'll be happy to beat you and then continue in the tournament and get a world title shot and win the Mayhem tournament in the same night. And me, I'm Rob Van Dam, the number one contender to the world title, and I'm going to be main event in Starrcade. So, do your best, kid. Toland just smirks, walks away, does a little shimmy as both guys go back to their working. Pointing over, Toland, both guys are still part of the tournament, and Toland is facing Hardy at Revolution as this gets a 77. And yeah, Toland didn't work script. These guys, I'm not surprised, did some bad, rules. But unfortunately, just got to roll with it. As then we go backstage, as AMW goes in the Bischoff's office, and they say, we beat the Hart Legacy last week, so we want to shout out the titles. And Bischoff's like, you did use the BR Bravo, guys. And Reference Division is final, but if you want to earn that tag title shot, even against Macy's and Morningstar, you're going to have to do a little more than just win one match. And Storm Harris like, fine, we'll do that, but you're going to have to give those title shots a shot to us sooner or later. And sorry about your damn luck if you don't want to do about it. It's just a quick little thing to put over the tag division as this gets a 68, and we move forward. And then we're backstage again, where European Disunion, Nikita Colt, our former Women's World Champion, and her partner, Xena Busick, walk up to Nattie and Roni. Of course, they got the big upset last week, and they go walk up to him, and they say, Nikita says, I bet you're feeling lucky. I bet you're feeling great about how you defeated us. And Nattie sort of says, yeah, you got the pin. What's your problem? Well, but my problem is, you're nothing but Verwantes Bulks, spoiled little brats. And you think just because you're the daughter of a wrestler and you were down in the developmental for a while, you're now the super shiny new toys for WCW. Remember, we are the dominant athletes in the division. I've got ice in my veins, and this woman is the greatest technical wrestler in the women's division today. So, if you're little Sal's want to stand behind Celine and Jordan and be their little brats running under their foot, fine. But you're having to face us on your own without any backup sooner or later. And Eddie says, look, we're seconds to nobody. We'll take you on again and beat you again. So remember, you can talk about what you did all you want, but I grew up the Hart Dungeon. Roni's been wrestling all over this country for a couple years now, so we're ready to take you on anytime. And Nikita just says, fine, you little Zeke. And Nattie looks over at Roni, shrugs, and says, then Nikita adds, of course, you simplins don't understand my language. Let me rephrase that for you. You little bitches are going to get tapped out because I've got ice in my veins and I will make you stretch and scream. And Selena and Jordan or no other little blonde friend of yours will be there to help you. And they walk away, and Nattie and Roni look at each other. Kind of concerned, but also ready to fight again as it gets to 44. And yes, we're building stories in the women's division with more than just the top 12 people. Sort of sick because these guys aren't really over. These guys aren't the best mic skills, but do what you can do. And it's time for our second match in the Mayhem tournament tonight, as it's Yoshihiro Tajiri versus Keenan Sharpe. And this is actually a really good match. Sharpe's getting there, Tajiri's still really good. And basically, it's a technically style match. As Tajiri's doing his kicks, trying to get Sharpe's in his own submissions, bring him down to the mat, trying to slap on Tarantula, but Sharpe comes back down with his Muay Thai kicks. A quick gut-wrench suplex, trying to lock him in arm locks and knee bars, but Tajiri gets out. Eventually, the match devolves into some brawling, some strong Muay Thai kicks, sharp elbows and forearms from Tajiri doing his own kicks, and eventually Tajiri goes for the mist, but Sharpe is able to get ducked under it, blatantly hit a low blow on Tajiri, roll him into a submission hold, and with nowhere to go, Tajiri has to tap out, and Sharpe advances into the next round of the tournament. As you can see, this gets an 81, goes a little over 10 minutes, gets an 81, like I said. Sharpe gets an 81, Tajiri gets a 71. Again, Sharpe is somebody who's gotten over pretty damn quick, and I get there's a reason why there's a split coming in 2005, because guys like this deserve more TV time, and I just don't have enough time for it at the moment. The big win for Sharpe. As he's celebrating, but as he turns around, Tajiri is up and misses him right in the eyes to get a quick pop and then leave the ring as this gets a 71. As Tajiri gets a measure of revenge against Keenan Sharpe, who advances into the second round, where he will be facing either Eddy Guerrero. No, sorry, that's wrong. That's just wrong. He'll be facing the winner of the Alex Wright Prince Osei match on Revolution. Well, to put over things, Eddy will be facing the winner of the Jamie Knoble match, Chavo Jr match, which will also be hopping on Revolution as it's 71, and we move forward. As we go backstage, where Shane Helms walks into Booker T's locker room with Queen Charmel beside him, and basically, Booker says, "Look, I saw you were. Did you need a tag partner tonight? But Seka, why should I help you? Why should I help you when your ass thinks you're the best wrestler in this company?" And Shane Helms simply pats his belt and shoulder and says, "No, this belt proves I'm the best wrestler in the company, just like it used to mean you were the best wrestler in the company, Booker. But you lost. You lost your title shot. You lost the title, and now I have it. And we can talk about that later. But right now, I want to help you by helping you team up." And Booker's like, "What did you just say?" Booker T, I'm a six-time world champion, kid. And yes, you're the champion now, only because Palumbo and O'Hare had a liver spat. If not for that, you would have got your ass kicked, and you'd be one asking me for help. Helms says, "Well, we just have to see about it. But as far as helping me, let's look at my opponents. You've had your run-ins with Hardy, and hell, we know you and RVD had that long feud. So, here's the thing. Right now, and let's be honest here, you're on the outs. Yes, you're in the tournament, and you could get the big win. But, as a backup, this is one last chance to screw them over. RVD's little buddy Jeff doesn't get a title shot, and I get the rest and take him apart at Starrcade and prove he's a fraud. And if he's a fraud, that's one less man to get you back to the top. And hey, maybe once I have to, and I have the power to choose a title shot, those Morons might like it, but I'm happy to give a 6-time world champion another title shot once he's helps me out. Little scratch your back, I'll scratch yours." After he says, "Seka, I don't need to prove myself in any way, but I'm always have to beat some Fruity Booty's ass, so you got it. Now can you dig that?" Helms nods, and they shake hands, and heels are together. As this gets 100, because both these guys are really over and really popular, and hopefully Helms will get more as a result of this. Hope there is no pop cap, but who knows what happens. I was moving forward to another fun segment, as basically sort of see camera move out, and then we run into Tori Wilson talking to somebody, some random backstage woman, and then Jamie Knoble and MSA walk up to her, and Tori's like, "What the heck do you want?" And Knoble says, "Well, we just wanted to remind you that we're going to wreck your boys. I'm going to take apart Chavo, and then if Alex Wright gets in my way, I'll take him apart too." And Tori's like, "Look, let's be professional here. I helped Chavo and Alex as they teamed up and helped them get tag champions. But since they're not going to be teaming up a ton, since they got their own things going on, the tournament and everything, I've moved on, and I'm looking into doing my own thing. But we were business partners. That's it. So whatever you're thinking you're going to do, you're not going to get them more upset, but you might get yourself suspended or thrown out of the tournament. So do what you will, guys." And Noble's short laughs and says, No, come on. We're not brutes. I mean, Evan would be if I wanted to be. But look, I just want you to send a message back to your professional comrades. Remind them that their time is up and it's my time now. I don't care what I have to do to advance to that tournament. So get them ready for an ass-kicking Southern style. As Noble and Emmy walk back, as Emmy looks over Tori in a creepy way because it's still 2004, and then they both walk away. As Tori shakes her head and looks like she's walking over to the Rey Chavo's locker room. As this gets a 59, because it's Noble, Ebony, and Tori Wilson. Not the most super over people, but still good stuff backstage to build up, that storyline for the match that will be happening pretty soon. We have a Tricia Skye training package, which, has her doing a voiceover of saying, this is the biggest match of her WCW career so far. And at Mayhem, she's going to prove to Lizzy Dumas once and for all that she was the best wrestler in the division. And now she's the best wrestler in WCW. And after she's done with that, it's on to face off the women's title. Of course, this voiceover is all as Tricia Skye is doing some working out in tight clothing with the right angles, because of course it's still 2004. But it's, Trish Dies 2004, so of course we're going to use what we can use. This gets a 79. Fun stuff, and moving forward with the storyline. And it's time for our third match in the Mayhem tournament tonight, as it's AJ Styles versus Mark Jindrak. And this is about 9.5 minutes of really solid action. Unfortunately, AJ, AJ and Mark are still not super over. AJ's getting there, as you guys have seen. But, he's still not quite top guy. But this match is really solidly good, and they actually have really good chemistry. So I imagine what I imagine here is happening is basically a typical, big man, small man match. Jindrak does his sort of power moves, big power slam, big lariat, throws AJ around. AJ makes the underdog comeback, hits the moonsault DDT, does his Fosbury's flop, punch you to the outside. And just when it looks like AJ is running around, Jindrak, basically looks to the back, expecting some help. But it never really comes, and even though he tries to hit a few other big moves, eventually AJ does some fun reversals and rolls him up into the Styles Clash. Boom, 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles advances into the second round. As this gets a 74, this was our storytelling match. Again, if this was a storytelling match, that tells you usually there's a not great match I can put the storytelling tag on, but not so much tonight. As this gets a 74, AJ gets a 77, Jindrak gets a 74, but they had pretty good chemistry. So this would probably be a 76, 77 in best case scenario, but it's a really solid match. And post-match, AJ celebrates, the cheers of the crowd, as just put over as a underdog here in this tournament, but somebody who could surprise some people. And then we go backstage where Journey Barash is with Brother Rey, as Barash puts over, the big match against Mike Awesome, and says, you guys have some history together. And yeah, Brother's in a sense, you're right. But me and Awesome, we didn't really run into each other in Barbed Wire City because we were on different paths. Me and the rest of my family were dominating the tag division, and Mike Awesome was doing what he was against guys like Tanaka and such. But when we meet up in the next round, things are going to be violent and taken to the extreme. You see, I'm not my younger brother you can throw around into a crowd, or some Japanese lunkhead that'll let you hit you with 93 chair shots. No, Awesome, I'm a street fighter. And your number is up. And what's going to happen is I'm going to prove that I could have been the King of Extreme if I wanted to. And in a few days, what's going to be awesome is when I run through you and I prove that I get a chance to move on like I deserve and rise to the top here in WCW. You want to get my way? Fine, but I'll hit you back with a chair shot. I'll make you bleed. I'll set things on fire, because that's what I've done before, and that's what I'll do again. Testify. As Brother Rey walks away to 75. Solid promo as we move forward here in the match. And then we go backstage where Eric Bischoff, Joanie Laurer, the Women's World Champion, enters Bischoff's office, and she's like, look, Eric, what do you want? Are you mad that I ruined your little matches? Are you mad that none of your little women are getting a title shot that you think they deserve? And Bischoff's like, look, you may be a big star, but in this WCW, nobody's bigger than the company or what the fans deserve. But the other reality is, you make money for the company, so I'm not going to suspend you. I'm not going to strip you of the title. But what's going to happen is, starting on Revolution, you'll be wrestling on every single night in Revolution up until the pay-per-view. And if anybody gets a pinfall on you, they're in that title shot of Mayhem. But you get to keep on wrestling. Joanie's like, fine. Put your little pins in front of me, and I'll knock them down. Because I'm the evolution in women's professional wrestling. And none of your women can stop me, Eric. And you just have to accept that. Bischoff says, well, just have to see about that. Have fun. As Joanie walks away, as this gets an 85. And then we go backstage where Prince Osei is, basically, this is some quick cut segments as Prince Osei first goes to Raylan Penn and says, look, we are both from Africa, different parts of Africa. But obviously, you want to help a Ghanaian prince advanced in this tournament against a German invader like Alex Wright. Where he's like, I'm doing my own stuff, like, good luck, man, but look, the International Incident has to take care of his own match before helping anybody else. Then he goes to Shawn Stasiak, and Shawn's like, why should I care? Like, I got screwed over, so why should I help somebody else? Especially against somebody like Roy. Do your own stuff. Then Osei goes over to Steve Wright. Look, and Osei like sort of like does. I mean, let's be blunt here. A urban accent is, look, brother, help a Ghanaian prince. Steve Wright's like, Seka, I'm trying to get my man's Monty's suspension overturned. So sorry about your luck, you fruity booty. Do things on your own damn terms. As Osei looks disappointed as he walks away, he says, why will nobody respect a great Ghanaian prince like me? So 52, again, fun little segment as you move forward. And putting over the Wright Osei match for Revolution. And now we have our final match in the Mayhem tournament. And I keep on forgetting that, like, honestly, like, I'm putting together like these big tag matches because, like, sometimes I'm worried about the Mayhem tournament matches actually main event, at least the first round. Like, second rounders will be, like, that'll be most of the shows. But these first rounders, I sometimes forget, like, Rey Jr. Turns out he's really good. And honestly, Jonathan Toro, he can be carried. As this match was just an absolutely insanely good match. Because they actually have pretty good chemistry, which I'm sure I knew, and I forgot. But of course, they faced off before with Toro getting the big win. And what was the biggest win of his career so far? And now he's the US champion. And back and forth match, Rey Jr. does this high-flying stuff. Toro takes it apart, like, slows the match down a little bit and uses some power stuff. But eventually it looks like Rey's on the roll. But then out comes the Roman Legion. But then to a big pop, out comes Paul London. And he just comes from behind and hits a big, he does a Jeff Hardy barrier walk, dives onto both men. That actually, unfortunately, gives Toro a little bit because Rey Jr. is distracted. But then Toro, Rey Jr. reverses an attempt by Toro. He head scissors him to the outside. Then Rey Jr. hits a big dive on everybody. Rey and Toro continue to fight on the outside, but then Paul London runs into the ring while the ref is dealing with Rey and Jr. and he hits a wild dive to the outside, both members of the Roman Legion. Rey Jr. is back inside. Toro goes for his rolling elbow. Rey Jr. is ready for him. Hits a crucifix. Hits the sort of big hurricanrana. Then goes to the top rope, springboard hurricanrana, and gets the big win to advance in the tournament. In a match that overall, after 12 minutes, gets a 90. So yeah, Rey Jr. gets a 94. Toro gets a 74. And they have pretty good chemistry. And there you go. And post-match, Rey and London, like Roman Empire, recover, but Rey and London are ready for him and both hit dives on him and fight them off before WCW get involved. As of course the Emperor's put over, Rey and London could meet up in the tournament if they both advance into the final four. But for the moment, these two men are teaming together to make sure neither of them get screwed out of the match. 61, fun stuff. And then we have tournament bracket update, which of course, puts over that it's going to be Eddy versus the winner of Knoble Chavo. Keenan Sharpe will get the winner of Wright Osei. Rey Jr. will get the winner of Chuck Palumbo and Jason Jett. And AJ Styles will get the winner of AJ Styles and Booker will meet in the second round. So I should have put Booker off screen, but what can you do? As this little tournament segment gets a 74. And then the Chosen Few are backstage, and Jindrak is sort of backstage, and he says, "Why didn't you guys come out and help me?" And Jarrett stands up and says, "Listen, Slapnuts, you're part of the Chosen Few not because you needed help, but because I thought you were the future of this business. And the point is, you need to prove yourself that I was correct. Look, we're together and we'll help each other out if needed, but sometimes you need to prove that you don't need my help or Divine's help. Now you're both out, so it's time to focus on the real prize, making sure that the chosen one gets you in the finals by hook or crook, by any means necessary. Are you ready to do that and prove you're one of the chosen few?" Jindrak and Divine nod, and Jarrett's like, "Great, let's get ready." And this gets an 81 as Jarrett puts himself over and sort of runs over Jindrak and Divine, and they're sort of treated as secondary because again, hey, maybe Jarrett does not have his his partner's best interest at heart. Shocker. And now it's time for the main event, I believe. Yeah, okay. Holy shit. Okay. Okay. You didn't have to do that. Wow. Okay. This was an awesome fucking match. Like, that's the only way to put it through. Like, this is, I mean, imagine the best possible version of this match, and there you go. Like, RVD's flying over, Hardy's taking some stupid bump, Helms is acting like a perfect prick heel, hitting super kick on both men and getting near falls, Booker T's coming in and doing Booker T stuff, back and forth, a long heat segment with Hardy, with Helms and Booker T beat on him before RVD gets a hot tag. Things break down into just wildness, and eventually, though, Hardy Van Dam like does the dive on the Shane Helms. They start fighting on the outside, and Jeff Hardy's able to hit the Whisper in the Wind, hit the Twist of Fate, go up top, hit the Swanton Bomb, 1, 2, 3, and now he has earned the Mayhem title shot. So yeah, this gets a 99, which is freaking great. Hardy gets a 90, RVD gets a 92, Booker T gets an 89, Helms gets an 86. They have great chemistry, and yeah, fun stuff. And overall, this show gets a 95. So there we go. So let's just see what happened with the show here. So yeah, that was actually, like, I was expecting like low to mid 90s with that, just because of like how over everybody is, but I was not expecting a 99. As this all loads, loading. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I hate to break this to you guys, but you're going to be working a lot. I mean, this is also kind of another reason I'm doing a split, because these guys are getting like tired going on both shows. But okay, so first, Raw is War. Let's see here. Kurt Angle attacked Shawn Michaels in 85. Billy Gunn defeated Devon Dudley as the Team Angle continues to explode. Kurt Angle won a squash. Kane defeated Steven Richards in a 90. Scott Hall, Chris Benoit, and Scott Steiner defeated Val Venis and the Outcast in a 90. The Undertaker defeated William Regal, Edge, and Randy Orton in 99. And Chris Jericho and Triple H defeated Big Show and Shawn Michaels in 99. So, but they still only got a 93, so slight win for us. And also, just because it's showing up now, let's look what the tag league. Okay, so let me, because this is always interesting for how. Okay, so it looks like there was just the semifinals. But okay, so this is actually fun. They did decide to do mostly all tag matches, so you can imagine like this was semifinals as like other matches. Anyway, so we had Toba and Ninawa defeated Keta, Toro, and Psycho in a 661. We had Chronic defeated Rob Rage and Hugh Morris in a none of these guys would pass a wellness policy match in a 60. I mean, yeah, that sounds about right. McGinnis and Macho Pump. Yes, this guy and Nigel are team defeated Brother Yashi and Jun Achwai in a 69. Nice. In the first, in the semifinal of the tag league, we had Blue Justice, which is Nagata and Zuka, defeated Flying Kid, Achichura, and Tieko Mori in a 79. Then we had Masato Yoshino and Super Duncan defeated Daishiro Matsui and Kakihara in a 71. Then we had Sekigun of Nishimura and Nakayoshi defeated Ken Shanmar and Chris Candido in a 75. But Sakabura and Silver King defeated Kishin and Hero in an 83. So that was actually the match of the night, which, hey, these guys make sense. And yeah, Chris Hero is actually getting decently over. And then in our semi-main event, in what might be his New Japan debut, Kevin Nash and Don Fry defeated Super J and Naoya Ogawa. Let me just make sure. Was this actually Nash's debut? It was... No, okay, so he had a couple of matches. Okay. This is a badass team. Don Fry, Masahiro Chono, and Kevin Nash. I mean, the other team is not bad. Tanahashi, Nishimura, Nakanishi, but yeah. But also, yes, in a NWO nostalgia match. Bobby Roode, okay, Mr. Wall Street, Indigo member, Kevin Nash, for an own member, Peter Rob Rage, and Super J, the former fake Sting, and Big Vito. And then Kevin Nash and Don Fry. Okay, interesting. And then in the main event, for the J1 Climax tag titles, Blue Justice defeated Yoshino and Demikin in a 79. Fun stuff. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, the Kevin Nash is now in New Japan. But I'll be back in just a moment with. But yeah, first a little tournament update. Where are you? Tournament. There we are. All right, so yeah, round of 16 matches set up so far. Mike Awesome versus Brother Ray, Perky D versus AJ Styles, Jeff Jarrett versus Paul London, and Billy Kidman versus Kane. And Rey Jr. versus to be decided, Keenan Sharpe versus to be decided, Eddy Guerrero versus to be decided, and Rob Van Dam versus to be decided. Alright, so I'll be back in just a moment with Revolution. And now, welcome to Revolution, where the show starts off with the announcers putting over 4 big Mayhem tournament matches, and our main event of a big 6-man tournament preview of Kanyon, Brother Ray, and Paul London teaming up to take on Mike Awesome, Billy Kidman, and Jeff Jarrett in a big 6-man match to preview the second round tournament matches coming up soon. But of course, we also have to figure out the rest of the tournament. So the announcers put over the bracket overview, which I forgot to take Toland off screen. But it'll be Chuck Palumbo versus Jason Jett, Alex Wright versus Prince Osei, Jamie Knoble versus Chavo Guerrero Jr., and Jeff Hardy versus Toland. And let's get to 72 it all as we go to our opening match. But before that, of course, Prince Osei tries to pay off Alex Wright one last time. He says, "Look, you Germans like efficiency, and you want to be successful. So take the money, invest it in a nice farming company or something somewhere, and let a Ghanaian prince such as myself move on to the next round." Wright just smirks and attacks him, and the match is on. And that gets us 57, because it's a little 2-minute segment, but still not bad considering Osei's overness and how short it was. And this match is sort of what you'd expect. Like, Wright actually does a little bit of, high-impact maneuvers. Osei does some high-flying of his own. But in the end, Alex Wright is a former tag team champion and honestly sort of the king of the mid to upper mid-card guy who deserves more TV time. And Prince Osei is still a young cruiserweight just beginning his time here in WCW. And that means, Osei gets a little bit of offense in. But in the end, Wright locks him up. It's quick snap double arm DDT. And the pinfall victory for Alex Wright in a little over 6 minutes in a 70. As Wright gets a 79, Osei gets a 40, and a decent win as Wright celebrates post-match to another 70. As you put over, it's going to be Alex Wright in a big match against Keenan Sharpe in the second round. And after that, we have the Triumvirate and the Chosen Few backstage basically going over things. As, the Triumvirate are like, look, you were getting all your shots. We were underneath. But we're happy to team with you, Kidman says. But remember, we're your partners tonight. We aren't your little boys running around. No offense. He looks over to Mark and Neidhart looking ready for a fight. But I've got the former King of Extreme, and you got me. Best cruiser of my era. So Jarrett, we'll team up tonight. But that doesn't mean we're friends. Doesn't mean we're allies. But we're teammates of convenience. And after tonight, I'm ready to win the Mayhem tournament. And if you're in my way, well, slap nuts. You're going to have to deal with it. Jarrett fired back. Listen here. It's my time now. And I don't care about all your whining and your crying. I was a chosen one for a reason. And tonight, we'll take care of idiots like London, Kanyon, and that guy and that extreme buffoon. But after that, you're damn right. And just be ready for a guitar in your head if you get in our way. A little bit of a stare down before they agree. And yeah, again, in my WCW, faces get along because they're good first choice baby faces for the most part. And heels don't get along because they're evil, conniving people who are always going to backstab each other. Not that complicated. And this gets an 87 as we move forward. We then have a promo backstage where basically we can hear some rock music in the background, and we see various roadies moving stuff around, various hangers on, groupies, other people, as Lizzy's just like you would be at a rock show, and she says, I'm here celebrating my future victory against Tricia Skye. Because you see, Trish, you'd never be able to do this. You'd be too uncomfortable around people like, this is my people. Rockers, people who are ready for a fight, ready for a throwdown, ready to get a little wild, a little crazy. No security. Nobody making sure the common people don't get too close to you. Because Lizzy, you know, I'm a woman of the common people, no matter how many you try to put yourself as a member of the fans. And the fans may not like me, because I'm always ready for a rumble, and we're always ready to kick some ass. But at Mayhem, Tricia, the sky is going to be my limit as I take you out and finally prove I should have been the one getting the opportunities all along. And I'm going to prove you're nothing but a creation who needs to go back and actually learn how to wrestle. 64, decent promo as we move forward. And yeah, I occasionally have to remember that not everybody needs to be backstage all the time. And before our next tournament match, Jett comes out with the TV title as Palumbo comes out, as the announcers put over, do the original booking. This match is now a little more interesting as Palumbo has turned over a new leaf, so he may have something to say to Jett. And Jett's like, look, I understand you got pissed at your brother, and now you're on Warpath, but look, we can work together, man. I'm money, your money, so let's be money together. And then Jett gets kicked in the face, and the match is on. As this gets a 79, and moves on to the actual match. So yeah, this is heel versus heel, so as you'd expect, it's not a great match. I mean, it would be a solid match under normal circumstances, but it's short. These guys are both heels, so that's what kills the crowd. So I kept it short. I had it be storytelling, and there you go. So, I mean, no, I didn't have the storytelling. I just had it be a match, right? Yeah, just a normal match. But basically, Jett gets a little bit of offense in. It's a little bit of, like quick high-flying moves to play the babyface, at least for this match. But in the end, Palumbo runs him over, hits the full throttle in a little 4 minutes, and Palumbo advances to the second round in a 58. But as you can see, Palumbo got an 89, Jett got a 69, so this match would have been an 80 if Palumbo was a face, but I didn't want to put him against a face in the tournament because that would have let his heel turn be obvious. So just hurt the match a little bit, but still Palumbo gets the big win, and then he just sort of looks down at Jett, gets on his motorcycle, and rides off. As this gets a 71 as we move forward. And we go backstage to a great, actually a lot better than expected because Paul ended there. Backstage segment where actually I like this. Kanion's trying to treat London ways to quickly do his moves, and London's trying to throw Kanion how to do an extra flip, and then Brother Ray comes and says no, okay, we're against a guy who wants to throw you all through tables, a sniffling little son of a bitch, and a guy who has stalking guitars. So I understand. We'll fight, and we'll battle, and we'll do our best wrestling. And then Brother Ray pulls over a table with some chairs on it, says, but we gotta be ready for war. So 92, as babyfaces are all getting along as we move things forward. And then in the first of Joanie Laurer's weekly matches, Joanie Laurer kills Amy Sakura, who probably makes her first appearance on an A show in months, in 2 minutes, and kills her with the powerbomb. And yeah, it's a 70. Amy Sakura never had a chance, and Laurer is just playing with her all through the match. And then post-match, she hits another powerbomb for fun as that gets a 70 and a 71 as the arms was put over. If this is the competition Eric Bischoff has, it's going to be an easy run for Laurer as she runs the women's division. As we move forward to the next match, I think. Now, first we have another women's segment, which I try to keep these somewhat separated, but unfortunately sometimes you just sort of run into stuff. So basically backstage we have Nattie and Roni again, doing backstage wrestling stuff. And then Jordan Cole and Celine walk in and says, look, we saw what Nikita and Messina said on Nitro, and look, we appreciate you, appreciate your help, we think you're talented young wrestlers, but we got to take care of the European Disunion, okay? And actually, Nattie first back, look, see, you're just making her you're just making that bitch seem like she's actually correct. We can do this. We beat him once. And Carter says, well, you got to roll up. Which is impressive, but it's they were defeating you. And he's like, see, no, we want to match another match for the European Disunion. If Bischoff gives you the match, fine, but We want to earn our own chance to earn our place, to prove that we're just not your seconds. And Jordan Cole's like, no, we've never thought that, but we're just trying to help you out. Really. And Roni's like steps up to Cole and says, look, I came up into WCW because I wanted an opportunity to earn my shot at the top here in the wrestling business. And me and Nattie, we're going to wrestle whoever's put in front of us. Whoever. As she shares another look, whistling Jordan Cole, and the two babyface teams walk away from each other, both a little upset, as this gets a 48 in building stuff up. And now it's time for another match in the Mayhem tournament. So what happens here is Jeff Hardy and Tank Toland. Like, Toland gets a little bit of like power, quick strike offense, and easy at first because he's a little bigger than Hardy, but Hardy fights back. And it looks like Hardy's actually going to get like a fairly quick win after about 4 or 5 minutes when he hits the Whisper in the Wind, hits the Twist of Fate, goes up top, but then out comes Cash. So Cash comes over, he yells at Hardy, Hardy gets distracted, that allows Tank to shake his ropes, goes up top, hit a big like second rope superplex for near fall. But again, Hardy takes over again, and again he looks like he's going to get the win, but then Reno comes out with Amber O'Neil. Looks like they're going to interfere, but the ref sort of stops them and throws both Reno and Cash out. But as he's dealing with Reno, Cash, and Amber, in comes from the crowd Shane Helms as Hardy is going over Toland. Hardy turns around, boom, super kick. Hardy then Helms comes off the far rope, boom, Nightmare from Helm Street strike to the back of the head. That allows Toland to come over, hit his finisher, which I think is just basically a quasi machine gun lariat, which I'll have to double check again. I keep on forgetting to double check this stuff. But then he goes for the pinfall, puts his feet on the ropes just because, and 1, 2, 3. Tank Toland defeats Jeff Hardy. Because basically the whole Helms Legacy screwed him over. And yeah, this is a bit of a shocker, but again, I told you guys there'd be upsets. But yeah, Toland gets the huge win thanks to just hold the home legs running in. This gets a 75. Hardy gets an 88. Toland gets a 51. As you can guess, Jeff Hardy was upset about this in-game, but honestly, just because this is the sort of thing that the in-game doesn't deal with well, I'll just hand him over a whole bunch of money to make him happy again. Because again, this sort of stuff is something where the game doesn't understand that this is part of an angle building up basically the part of the main event to the pay-per-view. So yeah, the game doesn't quite get it, so I'll have to deal with it on my own to fix it. But a huge one for Tank Toland as he advances. And post-match, basically Toland, Tank, and Donbury basically celebrate and get the hell out of Dodge. RVD comes out to go after Helms, who's still at ringside, pointing at Hardy and laughing. So that means Helms runs away, and then RVD helps out Hardy, who is upset, and then talks to RVD, and they basically then shake hands after a moment. As this gets a 79. Well, they shake hands, and then they head after Helms, who's still at the top of the ramp, who's also then runs away. As this gets a 79, and fun stuff. Oh, whoops. And then in the final tournament match of the night, it's actually an interesting little match as Chavo Guerrero faces off with Jamie Knoble. And this, let me see here. This was okay. Fatigued. Okay, didn't see. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. Anyway, so this is this goes almost 15 minutes and is it's a pretty solid match. Actually gets an 81 as Knoble gets 78 and Chavo gets 73. So I sometimes forget Chavo's overness. Chavo's scores helped it with Helms when he's teaming with Wright because of the tag bonus. Anyway, back and forth match, actually basically a clean match back and forth. Eventually, Knoble does his cheating shit to gain the advantage, lock in some holds, but Chavo Guerrero fights back. Chavo does his own cheating because, he is a Guerrero. He, lays out Knoble from behind with, he does his own low blow, goes for a roll-up, Knoble fights back, and eventually, Knoble hits a few big suplexes. Chavo goes for the three amigos, but Knoble, rakes Chavo's eyes on the last one. Knoble rolls through, locks on a arm submission, but Chavo gets out of it. Chavo goes for his own brainbuster again, but again, Knoble gets out of it, rolls through, locks in the guillotine choke, and with nowhere to go, Chavo has to tap out, and Jamie Knoble advances into the tournament. And yeah, overall, this gets an 81. I wanted to see, like, if I gave him time, if they would, like, pull off a real banger. Unfortunately, I mean, this is a very solid match, but not, like, I was hoping for, like, an 85, 87. But still, 81 isn't bad. Chavo gets a 73, Jamie Knoble gets a 78. Chavo's off his game, but yeah, fun stuff. And post-match, Knoble is celebrating when, hey, Eddy Guerrero comes out, and hey, Eddy still hates Jamie Knoble. So Eddy waylays Knoble and does the beatdown. Actually, like, what happens is Eddy comes out, wallops Eddy's table in the back with a chair to knock him down. Then, as Knoble is turning around, goes for a chair shot. Knoble is ready for him, hits a drop kick to get rid of the chair, but Eddy fires back, and the brawl is on as Yantras put over, this big match for the next round of the tournament. Before WCW officials come in and break everything, break everything down. This gets an 81, and we move forward to our next segment, which is a bit of wacky stuff. As basically, this is just a quick segment where we're basically outside of the arena, the beautiful New Orleans Arena, Louisiana, and Tank and Don Marie are with the rest of Helms' Legacy, and Tank is like, "You promised me you help me get out of here, so I wouldn't get my ass kicked. The sexiest wrestler is not going to get beat down in this disgusting city, in this disgusting parking lot." Shane was like, "No, it's not a problem. You have the greatest champion in WCW to help you out." And after a moment, a big limo pulls up. Everybody piles into the limo. Just as Hardy and RVD come out to the parking lot, they chase after the car for a moment, but Helms Legacy and Toland escapes for now. So just a fun little backstage segment. This gets a 66. They actually rated everybody as like Cash, is sort of helping out Tank. Amber's talking to Don Marie. Reno's looks angry, and then there we go. As this gets 66, and it's time for our main event. Oh no, first we get a Bill Goldberg hospital update. Oops, I forgot to attach a storyline, which was the whole point of this. Moron. Anyway, Goldberg just we see Goldberg in the hospital getting ready, and he basically just put there's a quick scene for his doctor saying he's temporarily was concussed and had some other damage, but he'll be ready to go in a few weeks. As this gets 69, and then we have a tournament bracket update featuring Tank Toland, Jamie Knoble, Alex Wright, and Chuck Palumbo who all won today, which gets 67. And now it's time for our main event, which gets an 85. Okay. What I expected. So basically, back and forth match. Jarrett does his Southern brawling with everybody. There's probably some fun stuff with Jarrett and Brother Rey brawling all over the ringside area. Kanyon continually goes for the Kanyon Cutter and Kidman, but Austin either interferes or Jarrett and Kanyon face off as the Hunters put over their former horsemen, things. Paul London basically plays facing Toro or does some flips. But in the end, what happens is on the outside, the referee, things eventually break down. On the outside, Storm nails Kanyon with a super kick, and that means it's 3-on-2. And even though, Brother Ray does his best, eventually Jarrett and Kidman, get him, basically, captured in the middle. And it's Mike Awesome versus Paul London. And guess what? That is not going to go well for Paul London, as Awesome hits the Awesome Bomb and gets the 1-2-3 for the victory here on Revolution, as this gets an 85. Awesome gets an 84. Kim gets an 88. Jarrett gets a 92. London gets a 76. Ken gets a 93. And Brother Ray also gets a 76. So, yeah, that's about what I expect, overall. And then post-match, the fight continues to a 91, and, just, fight, everybody gets involved. Mark Jindrak comes down. The faces still continue to fight as Kanyon recovers, hits some Kanyon cutters, and until WC officials come and break things up, the Yankees put over, these 6 men all want a chance at glory at Mayhem, but only a couple can get through. And overall, we get an 86 for the show as we move forward to the next day. So, show you guys some stuff in a second here, including updating you on the tournament. Overall, let's see here. Joanie Ace thinks Johnny. She's a woman wrestler. What the hell are you talking about? Anyway, first, as a quick update for you guys, for our predictions tournament, after the entirety of the first round, which you got spoiled on if you actually checked the main tournament before this goes up. But so starting from the bottom, Shook has 11. Unfortunately, Shook, you picked Jeff Hardy to win the whole thing, and you just saw what happened. But the good news is if you still have a chance to win if nobody picks the correct winner of the tournament. Cameron, you have 11. Just Franco 101, you have 13. World Championship name picked, got 13, but still in first is the moment. It says Seductive Sable, but it's still basically anybody's game. Yes, even Shucks. So fun thing. So again, next week will be, of course, the whole second round, and of course the finals. The quarterfinals and the final letter will predict the winner. So be back with that, in a bit. But there's your tournament update. And as a quick storyline update, as storylines, we got Beautiful Violence at a 68, Boiling Under at a 85, which is interesting. It's that good. Oh, right, because of the great match. The women's basically secondary storyline is at a 43 after just starting. Brother Ray, Awesome, Ron Simmons is at an 81. Family is a Pain, which is a whole Alex, Chavo, Knoble, Sharpe, Tajiri thing, is at a 77. Joanie being Joanie is at a 75. Toro Rey, which is basically, their feud for their match, is at an 84. Mr. Starcade is at a 81. I guess, yeah, that makes sense because of some bad storylines. We can pull that up. Natural Born Enemies is at an 86, mainly because I haven't done it in a couple of weeks, because O'Hara's, of course, is off TV, putting over what happened. Next Man Up is at an 88. Receiving the Message as an 81. Titanic Showdown's at an 80, which we sort of need to rebuild, which I was trying to rebuild. And Tournament Throwdown, which is basically everybody else, is at an 88. As we update the actual tournament here, which I believe should be totally ready. Yeah, so for the round of 16, we have Rob Van Dam versus Tank Toland. So also RVD will be looking to get revenge for his buddy. Mike Awesome versus Brother Ray. Eddy Guerrero versus Jamie Knoble in a rematch where Knoble got his big win. Alex Wright versus Keenan Sharpe. Rey Jr. versus Chuck Palumbo. Booker T versus AJ Styles. The present versus the future. Or the present versus the past, possibly. Billy Kim versus Canyon. And continuation of their big feud. And Jeff Jarrett versus Paul London. So those matches will all be next week. So yeah, lots of big matches. And all right, to go over what has happened in the rest of the world. First, before we look over WWE, I believe there were some solidly big shows. Let's see here. What was it now? Right, I showed you guys. Right, I showed you guys Noah. Yes, Noah had their big show already. Right. Showed you guys New Japan. What was the... Oh, right. Okay, so Minishio Pro had their anniversary show. 2,000 people, nothing huge. But the big thing is Rei Suzuki and Shibata. Yes, that Shibata. Had a 94. So in a random, in the semifinal, a sort of hidden gem, possibly 5-star match, because accounting for their size. And also, Duka Hadaka defeated Hotani for the World Superweight title. Fun stuff. And Samoa Joe was also on the show. So yes, you could have Samoa Joe versus Shibata eventually in Michiko no Pro. Yeah. Some future tape trading, interesting stuff. I think that was the big thing. Dragon Gate. Yeah, no, that's actually it. So yeah, to go over first So first, Wildside TV, we had Marcus Militek, Ortiz, and JC Daz defeated John Phoenix, Trevor Rhodes, and Stillman by DQ in a 60. We had Jimmy Ray defeating Bobby Lashley in a 48. Jason Cross defeating Matt Morgan in a 54, because Matt Morgan's, still in there. And Lazarus defeated Chance Prophet in a 62. And then for the weekly house show, we had Claudio and Ryan Drago defeated Sonny Siaki and Dakin Briggs. Sonny and Claudio are both getting there. Kenzo Suzuki defeated Matt Cross in a 46. Kenzo's not there. Rick Michaels defeating Bobby Lashley. Tony Jones, Shannon Ballard defeated Ken Cole and John Phoenix. Shannon Ballard, Jane Ballard, and Kay Graves defeated the Seekers of Sin, which is Rothschild and Killswitch, in a 62. And again, these guys are all almost there. And yeah, that's it, because Jimmy Ray and Tomko went losing a tag title match, something you guys don't need to care about that much. And then our women's Dev Fed, we had the weekly show, which had Mega Woman defeat ODB and Vanessa Harding. Mega Woman is Miss Molly and Cindy Rogers. We had a bunch of backstage segments. We had Ariel defeating Mischief by DQ in a 52. We had Beth Phoenix and the non-gay partners of Madison and Tracy Brooks defeat Allison Danger. Right. And War Kittens, Lacey defeating Melissa Masaka by DQ in 63. And Cherry Millis defeated Desire in a 67. So fun stuff. And yeah, obviously as part of the split, some more will be coming on TV. But I believe that is it for you guys. Yeah. All right, and then HWA. HWA had their weekly show, which had Club Deluxe defeat Dustin Lee and Jorge Estrada, and Youngest Rocky Murder defeated Core Castle and Skated Ivan. Ricky Shane Page, BJ Whitmer, and Joel Grunge defeated Excalibur and Alex Shelley and Barry Bradford. Capitelli and Shark Boy retained the tag titles. Chuck Taylor retained the HWA TV title, and Scott Vick defeated Ekmo Fatu. And then for their monthly big show, we had Club Deluxe defeated John Cena and Andy Douglas. So just as a little thing, John Cena so far in HWA is actually, he's a pretty solid. But he's basically the low man on the totem pole overness wise. He's not getting as much as you think, but Cena still gets a 44, which means he was third best, which isn't terrible. We had Ricky Shane Page and Cyber Squad defeated Skinhead Ivan and Shelley Bradford again. Russ Haas defeated Jimmy Jacobs. BJ Corey Castle. Capitelli and Shark Boy retained the tag titles. Scott Vick defeated Locade. And Max Striker defeated Ray Steele and Ekmo Fatu. And then for OVW Weekly Loop, Christine Ricci defeated Chantel Taylor in a 49. Rob Conway defeated Steve Bradley in a battle of long-term OVW guys. Lizzy Borden defeated Miss Natural. Rico Constantino and Bill Buchanan defeated Maven and Joey Matthews in a 62. Justice defeated Joey Ryan again. And Tommy Maluke defeated Steve Bradley. Danny Dorn defeated Shaggy Tudo. Yes, that's a match that happened, at least in this universe. Maven and Joey Matthews defeated Rob Conway and Bill Buchanan in a 59. Christy Ritchie defeated Riptide in a 55. Homicide and Specky defeated Trip Breaker and Joey Ryan. And Justice defeated Rico in a 65. And Justice is another guy who will probably be coming up soon. So yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else much of note. But yeah, creative-wise, it's who you expect. And yeah, again, it does really look like, if we look at Shane Helms from Overness, he really has hit his pop cap, unfortunately. So, I mean, we'll just have to see what we have to do about that. As far as anything else of note, let me see, is there anything else to really show you guys? Eddy's really over. Booker T's really over. Chuck Palumbo's really over. Anybody else over who you guys want to expect? I don't think so, because I just went over this all. Yeah, Keenan Sharpe's actually pretty decently over. And yes, quick note about AJ. AJ's not quite there, but he's really getting there. But anyway, this is it. So if you enjoyed this, go ahead and leave a like, comment below what you're liking and not liking. And of course, subscribe to your channel for TEW 2020 content and maybe some other fun stuff, depending on whether I have time or not. But that's it. So talk to you later, and adios. Have a good one.